We all know about battles like Waterloo, Gettysburg, and Stalingrad. But what if I told you that some of the most pivotal battles in history have been nearly forgotten? Battles that shaped the fate of entire civilizations? Today, we're counting down the top 10 pivotal battles you never learned about. Buckle up, because history is about to get intense. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more incredible videos. Number 10. The Battle of the Delta, 1175 BCE. The Battle of the Delta, 1175 BCE, was a crucial naval confrontation between the Egyptian forces of Pharaoh Ramses III and the mysterious Sea Peoples, a confederation of raiders who had already devastated major civilizations across the Mediterranean. As these seafaring invaders attempted to storm Egypt's shores, Ramses III devised a brilliant defensive strategy, luring their ships into the narrow Nile Delta, where his fleet and archers could ambush them from both land and water. The Egyptian victory not only preserved their civilization but also marked one of the earliest recorded instances of naval warfare shaping the fate of a nation. Had the Sea Peoples triumphed, Egypt, the last surviving Great Bronze Age power, might have fallen, accelerating the collapse of ancient civilization even further. The inscriptions at Medinet Habu, Ramses III's mortuary temple, detail this dramatic battle, showcasing how superior tactics and knowledge of the terrain allowed the Egyptians to fend off one of history's most enigmatic threats. Though lesser known today, this battle played a pivotal role in ensuring that Egyptian culture and power endured for centuries to come. Number 9. The Battle of Yarmouk, 636 CE. The Battle of Yarmouk, 636 CE, was a decisive confrontation between the Byzantine Empire and the Rashidun Caliphate, forever altering the balance of power in the Middle East. Taking place near the Yarmouk River, this battle saw the outnumbered Muslim forces, led by the brilliant general Khalid ibn al-Walid, execute a series of strategic maneuvers that overwhelmed the much larger Byzantine army. Over 6 days of fierce fighting, the Muslim troops used superior mobility, tactical withdrawals, and devastating counterattacks to break the Byzantine lines, leading to a catastrophic defeat for the empire. This battle was a turning point in history, marking the rapid decline of Byzantine control over Syria and paving the way for Islamic expansion across the Levant. The victory at Yarmouk not only solidified Muslim dominance in the region but also set the stage for the fall of Jerusalem and much of the Byzantine heartlands in the years that followed. Despite its massive impact, the battle is often overshadowed by more well-known conflicts, yet its outcome reshaped the cultural and religious landscape of the Middle East for centuries. Number 8. The Battle of Dio, 1509. The Battle of Dio, 1509, was a naval clash that reshaped the power dynamics of the Indian Ocean, yet it remains largely overlooked in mainstream history. This confrontation saw the Portuguese Empire, under Francisco de Almeida, face off against a powerful alliance of the Ottoman Empire, the Mamluks of Egypt, the Sultanate of Gujarat, and Venice. The battle took place off the coast of Dio, a strategic port in western India, and marked one of the first major encounters between European naval forces and the established powers of the Indian Ocean. Armed with superior firepower and advanced naval tactics, the Portuguese fleet decisively crushed the opposition, securing dominance over the lucrative spice trade routes. The victory at Dio had far-reaching consequences, cementing Portuguese control over the Indian Ocean for nearly a century and effectively marking the decline of traditional Arab and Indian naval power in the region. This battle laid the foundation for European colonialism in Asia, as Portugal established a maritime empire stretching from Africa to the Far East. While overshadowed by later colonial conquests, the Battle of Dio was a turning point that heralded the beginning of European dominance over global trade, shaping the course of history for centuries to come. Number 7. The Battle of Cartagena de Indias, 1741. The Battle of Cartagena de Indias, 1741, was a crucial but often overlooked conflict that determined the fate of the Caribbean and solidified Spain's grip on its American empire. As part of the War of Jenkins' Ear, Britain launched one of the largest naval invasions in history, sending a fleet of nearly 200 ships and 27,000 men to seize the Spanish stronghold of Cartagena in present-day Colombia. However, Spanish Admiral Blas de Lezo, despite being outnumbered and physically disabled from previous battles, led a brilliant defense with only 3,600 soldiers and 6 ships. Through a combination of fortified walls, strategic flooding of key areas, and relentless counterattacks, the Spanish forces inflicted heavy losses on the British invaders. After weeks of brutal fighting and tropical disease ravaging British troops, the once mighty invasion force was forced to retreat in humiliating defeat. This Spanish victory ensured that Spain retained control of its American colonies for another century and prevented British expansion into South America. Despite its massive scale and global consequences, the battle remains largely forgotten outside of Spain and Colombia, overshadowed by later colonial conflicts. The resilience of Cartagena's defenders turned the tide of the war and proved that even the most formidable invasions could be undone by superior strategy and determination. Number 6. The Battle of Talas, 751. The Battle of Talas, 751, was a decisive yet often overlooked clash between the Tang dynasty of China and the Abbasid Caliphate, marking a turning point in world history. Fought near the Talas River, in present-day Kyrgyzstan, the battle arose from a struggle for influence in Central Asia. The Tang forces, allied with local Turkic troops, initially held their ground against the Abbasid army. However, a crucial betrayal by the Karlik mercenaries, who switched sides mid-battle, led to a catastrophic Chinese defeat. The Abbasids decisively crushed the Tang forces, halting Chinese westward expansion and securing Muslim control over the region. Beyond its military significance, the battle had a profound cultural impact. It is widely believed that the captured Chinese artisans and scholars introduced papermaking technology to the Islamic world, which later spread to Europe, revolutionizing literacy and record-keeping. The Tang dynasty, weakened by internal strife, never again attempted to push westward, while the Abbasid Caliphate solidified its influence in Central Asia. The Battle of Talas was more than just a military engagement. It reshaped global history, influencing everything from trade to technological innovation. Number 5. The Battle of Plassey, 1757. The Battle of Plassey, 1757, was a small yet decisive conflict that paved the way for British dominance in India. Fought between the British East India Company, led by Robert Clive, and the forces of Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah of Bengal, the battle was as much a test of military strength as it was of political cunning. The British, vastly outnumbered, secured victory largely due to a pre-arranged betrayal by Mir Jafar, one of the Nawab's key generals. His forces refused to fight, allowing Clive's troops to rout the remaining defenders. This single battle marked the beginning of nearly 2 centuries of British colonial rule in India. Beyond the immediate outcome, the Battle of Plassey had far-reaching consequences. The British East India Company gained control over Bengal, the wealthiest region in India at the time, providing the resources and financial backbone for further expansion across the subcontinent. The victory also set a precedent for European powers using political manipulation and economic control to dominate non-European territories. Though often overshadowed by later colonial conflicts, Plassey was the moment when India's fate shifted, laying the foundation for British imperial rule that would last until 1947. Number 4. The Battle of Ain Jalut, 1260. The Battle of Ain Jalut, 1260, was a turning point in world history, marking the first major defeat of the seemingly unstoppable Mongol Empire. After the Mongols had swept through much of the Middle East, sacking Baghdad and crushing countless armies, they faced an unexpected challenge from the Mamluks of Egypt. Under the leadership of Sultan Qutuz and General Baybars, the Mamluks employed clever tactics, including feigned retreats, to lure the Mongols into a trap. The Mongol forces, who had terrorized much of the known world, were decisively defeated in the fields of Ain Jalut, in present-day Palestine. This battle was more than just a military victory. It halted Mongol expansion into the Islamic world and ensured that the Mamluks would remain dominant in the region. It also demonstrated that the Mongols, despite their reputation for invincibility, could be defeated with superior strategy and discipline. The shock of the loss reverberated through the Mongol ranks, and while they remained a powerful force, their aura of invincibility was shattered. Ain Jalut is often overlooked, but without it, the Mongols might have extended their rule across Egypt and beyond, altering the course of world history forever. Number 3. The Battle of Vienna, 1683. The Battle of Vienna, 1683, was a decisive clash that halted the Ottoman Empire's advance into Central Europe and marked the beginning of its decline. The Ottomans, led by Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha, laid siege to Vienna, the gateway to Western Europe, with an army of nearly 150,000. After 2 months of brutal fighting, the city was on the brink of collapse when a relief force led by King John III Sobieski of Poland arrived. With a daring cavalry charge, the largest in history, Sobieski's Polish winged hussars shattered the Ottoman lines, forcing them into a desperate retreat. This battle was more than just a military victory, it reshaped the balance of power in Europe. The defeat of the Ottomans ended their expansion into the continent and marked the rise of Austria and Poland as major powers. The Christian alliance's success inspired further European campaigns against the Ottomans, eventually driving them out of Hungary and much of Eastern Europe. Had the battle gone differently, the map of Europe, and perhaps even its dominant cultures, might look very different today. Number 2. The Battle of Adwa, 1896. The Battle of Adwa, 1896, was a groundbreaking victory that secured Ethiopia's sovereignty and shattered European colonial ambitions in Africa. Led by Emperor Menelik II, the Ethiopian forces, armed with modern weapons and superior strategy, faced off against the invading Italian army under General Oreste Baratieri. Despite Italy's technological advantage, they severely underestimated Ethiopia's strength. On March 1, 1896, Ethiopian warriors overwhelmed the Italian troops, inflicting heavy casualties and forcing a humiliating retreat. This battle was a pivotal moment in world history, as it marked the first time an African nation decisively defeated a European power in the age of imperialism. The victory at Adwa preserved Ethiopia's independence while inspiring anti-colonial movements across Africa. It also forced Italy to recognize Ethiopian sovereignty in the Treaty of Addis Ababa, setting a precedent that challenged European dominance on the continent. Number 1. The Battle of Samar, 1944. The Battle of Samar, 1944, was a stunning naval engagement during World War II that saw a small, outgunned American task force take on the might of the Imperial Japanese Navy, and miraculously prevail. Part of the larger Battle of Leyte Gulf, this clash occurred when Admiral Kurita's powerful fleet, including 4 battleships and numerous cruisers, unexpectedly engaged a vastly weaker U.S. force known as Taffy 3, a group of escort carriers, destroyers, and destroyer escorts. Despite being heavily outmatched, the American sailors fought back with incredible determination, using torpedoes, evasive maneuvers, and even desperate close-range gunfire to confuse and damage the Japanese fleet. Against all odds, the relentless American resistance convinced Admiral Kurita that he was facing a much larger force, prompting him to withdraw instead of pressing his advantage. This unexpected American victory helped secure the U.S. invasion of the Philippines, denying Japan a last opportunity to change the war's course. The bravery of the vastly outnumbered U.S. sailors and airmen at Samar remains one of the most awe-inspiring yet often overlooked moments in naval history. And there you have it, 10 of the most pivotal battles that history books rarely mention. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more legendary history from Robot Ray.